My duties are to my family. But I am loyal only to myself. Hey guys, and welcome to Rogue Legacy. Rogue Legacy for me is the quintessential roguelike. I'm not saying it is the first roguelike to ever come on the scene, but it's the first roguelike that I played that really hit a spot for me as a roguelike. Each character, each reiteration, each run, I saw improvement, both in myself and in my character. I really love Rogue Legacy. It's a game that's extremely nostalgic for me, and I really enjoy. So you play as a knight who has to defeat boss monsters. There's a deep story, which I do not want to even start because I'm worried I would spoil it. All we know is that we are a knight and something has happened. Rogue Legacy. Start your legacy. So this first iteration is Sir Lee. You always start as Sir Lee, and whatever happens, you have your different ancestors. So the first run is always the same, and everything from there out is completely different. But the first one isn't that similar because the castle is always different. You will never have two castles the same. You may have some similar, but never the same. So there's two predominant strategies here. There's a strategy where you bake all the items you find, and there's the strategy where you leave all the items you find in order to pick them up later. An item can contain gold, energy, or health, or nothing. So if you really wanted to get as far as possible in any one run, you would leave all the things and smash them after. That way you get the highest chance of getting food. I'm gonna try my best to do it as few runs as possible, but I know for time-wise it doesn't really make sense to do it that way, because I would have to either cut the recording and then splice in after I've healed, and it would be a lot of cutting and splicing, and I don't think it would really add much enjoyment to it, because you're constantly reattempting rooms and stuff. So I'm just going to play it like any casual player would play, and we're going to do our best. So the first thing to look at here is there's 4 areas. There's the castle, the forest, the tower, and the dungeon. Each is more difficult than the last, and it's encouraged that you fight them in order. You do not have to, really, and in some ways I believe it's a tower boss is harder than the dungeon boss, if I'm remembering correctly. So it doesn't have to be in order, but the dungeon is definitely very hard and is not for the weak of heart. So if you're a new player, definitely start castle, forest, tower, dungeon. So let's get into the story. Journal entry 1. Treason. An assassin has ruined my father, the king. In order to bring order back to the kingdom, he has set my siblings and I on the quest to save him. Together we are venturing into the Cursed Wood and enter Castle Hampstead. This cursed castle has stood in the edge of the world since time immemorial, but rumors say that within it dwells an item which will cure any ailment. Tonight I will gain a head start over my brothers and set forth on my quest while they lay asleep. To fail this quest would be an embarrassment to my name. So we will find more story as we continue, but what we do know is that the king has been poisoned and we need to save him. So some rooms will have just traps, other rooms will have enemies. This is a trap room. So you have to down thrust on those platforms, and then they will kind of extend. They will then go back, so you have to be really careful about them. So you want to search the whole castle. And the other part of the game that's very important is learning the enemy's patterns. That's a flame lock. He shoots fire. The fire attacks where you are at that second. These are, I think, frost locks? Is that what they call them? Frostins. So they will shoot a nova of ice. So both cannot penetrate the walls. So there is a thing where you can actually count how many hits it takes to kill stuff. It can be a good thing, but it can also be punishing. because as you progress further in the castle, or further in any area, the enemies will get stronger. So if you're used to killing an enemy in 2 hits, you will now kill it in 3 or 4. So we're actually getting a better item. The axe is a really good item because it can enable you to collect some additional items because it can penetrate through walls. So Chartes will just spin around you. They will try to come up behind you, so usually it's best to move left or right. This is a Doom Vase. Doom Vases are very dangerous. You can see by its outline, they will sometimes shake, but not always. But you can see this one. It does not seem to fit there because it was under that thing. So Doom Vases will move similar to chassis, but they seem to come from above you or below you. The angle is very varied. I generally find them faster and more difficult than Chartes, but they usually have less health. And then as you progress in areas, the enemies will get more complicated and more difficult. Oop. You got me there. Drop down. See, when they come from below you, it can be hard to hit them because of the angles at which they attack you from. So we're already half dead, which is very bad. I generally like my first run to be as good as possible. That's just a really kind of a tough room. And these, okay, so this is a room where you get a reward if you make it to the top. It's likely going to be an iron chest. Ah, shoot. Okay, so we did beat that, but we only have 12 health. So what we're looking for, we're entering, there's always a kind of entry room to an area. So this is the entry room to the tower. The left one will always have health in it. Oops, shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to teleport, but that's fine. We'll go to that lower room then. Okay, that was dangerous. You never want to fall below yourself because you could always die. I find those hard to hit a lot of the time though. These rooms you're always looking for and being aware of secrets. Secrets will be a later level and they will have usually a rune chest in them. So, very good things to keep an eye out for. Because runes will be very important in your success. Especially certain rooms. Certain rooms are better than other runes. So this is a fairy chest. If you can complete it with the objective, you will gain the item. Those ones are very dangerous because if you take damage and you get the last part, you do not get the reward and have to exit out. So right now we don't have a lot of health, so we could take a lot of damage there. So these ones aren't too bad as long as you know to watch for those items. Oh shoot! God damn, that was funny. Opening chest is up, but I was thinking incorrect and I hit down. Fell into 2 consecutive spike doors. So rough, man. So we can actually do a second character here. Generally, you want to try to get as much money as you can. So there's 3 classes here that are showing us. There's the Knight, the Mage, and the Knave. The Knight is the best class starting out, and a really good class later on. I find its power is a little bit weaker than the other classes. The Mage is more magic face class. It's a good end game class once you get an opportunity to get more mana and mana damage and stuff. And the Knave is an interesting class choice. I'll go through them all. So the Knight is average HP, average MP, average strength, and I don't think he has any crit rate base. I think the Naval is the only one with crit rate. The Mage is low strength, low health, but high MP. The Knave has lower stats than everybody else, but can land critical hits. No other class gets critical hits. Also, as you see, every class has a downside. Sometimes the traits are meant to be downsides, but sometimes there are upsides, like ADHD. it gives you faster move speed, where stereo blindness makes it so you can't see in 3D. The big thing about this is stuff can now be hid by the foreground, because the foreground is in front of enemies. Tunnel vision just gives you no peripheral vision, so you don't know when stuff is coming. And we've already talked about those ones, so I'll try to keep talking about the traits as we see them. So we're going to go with Lady Priscilla, because knights are great in early game, because they do the most damage. Early game damage is pretty much the most important stat. So every time you buy something, you're going to get more items. I skipped that. Pretty much all the smithy does is he lets you get armor. It can be useful to expand the tower, because expanding the tower will let you get new things. So, guess... Oh, I have 170. I have exactly 100. So, you want to spend your gold in the best possible fashion available to you. So we have 10 gold left, which is perfect. So, we have the smithy. If we talk to him quickly, he's gonna pretty much tell you that he was a great blacksmith, but all his blueprints have been stolen. So it's up to you to bring back the blueprints so he can craft more stuff. So you can craft some stuff here. Most of the stuff, the square stuff, is not very good, so I don't really recommend it. The square sword can be okay, but again, this stuff's very replaceable. The other thing about 3D is because we can't see in 3D, so we can't see ourselves when we turn. So when we turn, it's gonna happen in 2D. This will happen to all enemies and everything. So 2D does affect the game, and it's very interesting. So, and I think what happens? No. Okay. I guess there's only the flexible one where there's one where you swing, it'll swing with you, but that's more what I'm trying to do there. So you can't swing. But yeah, see when that enemy turns. So it didn't really explain this enemy. This enemy will just walk left and right and he'll swing and shoot that burst. You can get hit by either his swing or the burst. Oh man, that guy came out of nowhere. Man, we're doing horrible already. It's just a lot of time it's hard to talk and play. And that's the big struggle with Rogue Legacy. As we get a little bit further on, I'll have a lot of the initial topics kind of covered. Oh man. See, it's just hard to talk and play. Really tough. I'll have a lot of the initial topics covered, so it should be easier to focus more on playing. So, see, this one is one that would look like it would have a secret area, but it does not. Always consult your map too, see if you missed anything. Okay, so this one does have a secret area. It's right underneath. So, there's one that's a quite obvious secret area. Usually they're a lot more hidden than that. It also showed it to you on your mini-map. So, it did not have a great reward though, so the kind of sneakier it's hidden, the better the award generally. Not always. So we have our second book here. So we can read it here. Journal entry 2. Although I'm the eldest child, I am not my father's favorite. I have always known he planned to leave me with nothing. But if I find the cure, everything will change. The victor will earn nothing less than the throne upon his passing. Upon my ascension, my wife and my children shall move back into royal quarters, back to the royal city, where we once again will be treated with the respect we deserve. No longer will we stand for the gossip and petty slander of our cousins. The other dukes shall bow as we pass, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I must keep my priorities clear. Conquer the castle, find the cure, collect my reward. So we see that there's dissension among the ranks. So this is an area that you can only get if you have the dwarfism, because the dwarf is smaller. Oop. That was a tough one. The reason it was tough is because I thought the fire was coming for me. That's the one thing about having the peripheral vision. If it wasn't it would have came for me. Oop, shoot. That was risky. Standing there. Oop. Defeat all enemies. This. Oh, okay. So these ones are really funny. I don't know what's... There's... I think only the log throw skill would help you get over there. But then you could get trapped over there as well. So whenever you can make it to these areas, it's definitely worth it. This is the exit area for the tower. Or sorry, for the castle. And there's the boss. We're not ready to fight the boss. The boss area will usually be sometimes in the center, but it does not have to be. we saw eyes, but eyes shoot out fireballs, and these, as you stand on them, they will be pressure based unless you have the no foot health. So this is a tougher one because it's going quite fast. So just wait, try to get your timing right, and go through. Okay, so now this is the castle. I always double check the area directly before to see if there's any easy chests. Sometimes you will have easy chests right nearby. So, no point turning up an easy chest. Okay, yep, that's defeated enemies. We can't complete that one. So, just going through. You can actually hit these guys, but there's no real gain to doing so. So this is going to give you a benefit or a curse. Don't always remember what they all do. Oh, Hedgehog Curse is the worst. It's every time you get hit, you drop gold. You can lose a lot of gold with the Hedgehog's Curse. As you see, you're just spurting out gold. So when you die now, we lost all our money. The Hedgehog's Curse is probably the worst thing in the game. But anyway guys, I think we'll call it an episode here. We'll be back in the next one for more Rogue Legacy. Thanks guys. Later.